If you're hearing this, I don't know how much longer I have before it finds me. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely keep the phone steady. The windows are fogged, the night is too quiet, and there's something moving just beyond the tree line. I can't believe this started because I was bored, because I thought I was clever. It was just another sleepless night, me scrolling Reddit with a bowl of instant noodles on my desk, looking for anything to distract me from the dull rhythm of my life. Work, rent, repeat. Then I saw the post. No karma grab, no cute title, just a blank username and 3 words. Don't come here. You know how your brain tells you to scroll past? I didn't. I clicked. The post was short, written like someone typing through tears. It described a place I recognized, a field near the old mill, the one we all dared each other to visit as kids. The details were too exact to be fake. It said there was something in the woods, something that wasn't supposed to wake up. And then it ended with, "If you hear the ringing, it's already too late." I should have laughed it off. I should have gone to bed, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. Now I'm parked outside that field, alone, whispering into my phone, praying that whatever I saw in those trees doesn't find me first. If I just scrolled past, maybe none of this would have happened. Maybe that post would still be there, warning someone else. But I clicked, and now I can't unsee what's waiting in the dark. I'm only telling you this so someone else doesn't make the same mistake I did. If you want the next update, if you want to be ready, subscribe now. You might need what I've learned before it's too late. Because once it sees you, there's no going back. It started like every other night. Me hunched over my laptop, half-empty energy drink sweating on the desk, blue light making my apartment look like an aquarium. I was bored enough to read every headline twice, clicking through subreddits like I was on autopilot. Politics, memes, the usual. Then that post showed up again. Same title, same 3 words. Don't come here. I hovered over it for a full minute, smirking at the drama of it all. Someone probably trying to go viral with fake creepypasta. Still, I clicked. The post was short, written like someone typing through tears. It described a place I recognized, a field near the old mill, the one we all dared each other to visit as kids. The details were too exact to be fake. It said there was something in the woods, something that wasn't supposed to wake up, and then it ended with, "If you hear the ringing, it's already too late." I should have laughed it off. I should have gone to bed, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. By 3 a.m., I was still awake, sitting in the dark, staring at the ceiling. I wasn't scared yet, just curious. And curiosity is what got me in the car. I pulled the post back up, this time reading it out loud like it would help me make sense of it. "This is my only warning. The field past the mill isn't empty anymore. If you walk past the rusted sign, you'll hear the ringing first. Don't follow it. Don't look for the light. If you see the path curve twice, turn back before it's too late." I stopped and frowned. The details were too sharp, too local. Anyone from my area would know the mill road, but that path? That's the kind of thing you only know if you've been there. I've been hearing it every night now. At first, I thought I was losing my mind, but my dog won't go near the back door anymore. Something is out there. I think it knows I saw it. My skin prickled. The post was dated just 12 hours ago. If you're reading this, don't come here. Don't follow me. The more attention it gets, the closer it comes. And that was it. No update, no photos, no comments from the author, just silence. I scrolled through the replies, half of them jokes, the other half arguments about whether it was an ARG or marketing stunt. One comment stood out though, a simple string of coordinates. When I copied them into Google Maps, my stomach dropped. The pen landed right where the dirt road cuts behind the mill. I leaned back in my chair, trying to laugh it off. What was I supposed to believe? That some internet stranger was running from a haunted forest creature? That there was a glowing light luring people to their doom just outside city limits? And yet, the post didn't feel like a story. It felt like a confession. I refreshed the page twice, hoping for an update. Nothing. Just those same words staring back at me, like a dare I wasn't sure I wanted to take. By sunrise, I'd made up my mind. I was going to check it out, not because I believed it, but because I wanted to be the one to post, confirmed, just an empty field, nothing to see here. Besides, I told myself, if this was real, someone had to find out first. Why not me? I grabbed my keys, told myself I'd be back in an hour, and stepped outside. The air was cool, still, like the world was holding its breath. It felt like the start of something. I just didn't know what yet. When I told my friends about the post, they reacted exactly how you'd expect. "You're seriously thinking about driving out there," Mark said over voice chat. "At night? For a Reddit post?" I said, "It's not just a post," I said, pacing my apartment. It had coordinates, real coordinates. And there was this comment saying, "The longer you wait, the worse it gets." "That's bait, dude," Leah chimed in. "Classic creepypasta. Next thing you know, you're trespassing on some farmer's land and getting shot at." I tried to laugh it off, but the truth was, my heart was already in it. The coordinates had burned a hole in my brain. I'd already checked the map 3 times, zooming in until I could almost see the dirt road. "What's the worst that could happen?" I said. "Some guy in a mask jumps out, I'll honk, drive off, and post the story for karma." "You're out of your mind," Mark said, but I heard the grin in his voice. "Fine, go be a ghost-hunting idiot. Just text us if you get possessed or whatever." "I'm serious," I told them. "I just want to see if the place even exists. I'll go before sunset. Be back before dark." "Famous last words," Leah muttered. We hung up, and the apartment went quiet again. I stood there with my keys in hand, my reflection staring back from the dark laptop screen. I told myself it was just curiosity, that I'd go out there, take a picture, and laugh about it later. But deep down, I think I wanted it to be real. I grabbed my jacket, locked the door, and headed for the car. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I heard those words again, the ones from the post. The longer you wait, the worse it gets. So I didn't wait. The sky was melting from orange to deep blue by the time I reached the turnoff. The paved road gave way to cracked asphalt, then dirt, and each bump rattled through the steering wheel. My GPS sputtered once, then froze completely. Perfect. The road was narrower than I remembered. Weeds leaned in from both sides, brushing against the car like fingers. My headlights cut a thin path through the gloom, catching flashes of rusted metal and faded "no trespassing" signs that were more suggestion than threat. I rolled the window down a crack and instantly regretted it. The air was damp, heavy with the smell of wet leaves and mud, like the world had just been rained on even though the sky was clear. Crickets buzzed somewhere far off, but closer in, it was silent. No birds, no wind, just the hum of my engine. It should have been peaceful, the kind of quiet you get when you leave the city behind. But this didn't feel like peace. It felt like the woods were holding their breath, waiting. A tree branch creaked above me, and I jumped before realizing it was just the wind finally moving. I almost turned around right there, but that's when I saw it. A car. It was parked crooked just off the side of the path, nose almost in the ditch. The paint was dusty, but the headlights were off, and as I slowed to a crawl, I could see the faintest curl of exhaust in the air. Whoever it belonged to, they'd been here recently. Maybe they were still here. I killed my headlights and sat there with the engine idling, every instinct screaming at me to leave. Then, I noticed something else. The driver's side door was open. Not wide, just enough to look like it had been left in a hurry. The wood stayed silent. My hand hovered over the gear shift, torn between throwing it into reverse and stepping out to look. Somewhere deeper in the trees, I swore I heard something move. And then I heard the ringing. I killed the engine and sat there in the dark, the faint ringing still hanging in the air. It wasn't loud, just on the edge of hearing, like a phone vibrating on the other side of a wall. My pulse was hammering, but I grabbed my phone and hit record anyway. "Okay," I whispered into the mic. "I'm at the field. There's a car here, still warm. Doors open, no sign of anyone yet." I stepped out, gravel crunching under my shoes, and nearly jumped when my own car door slammed shut behind me. The air was colder out here, heavy, damp enough to cling to my clothes. The parked car was empty. No keys, no bag, nothing. Just a faint smell of cigarette smoke and something metallic, like blood or rust. Whoever was here, they left fast, I muttered to myself. That's when I noticed the ground. Footprints, fresh, heading toward the tree line. I crouched down and shined my phone light on them. The prints were too deep, as if whoever made them was carrying something heavy. I followed them to the edge of the path, and that's where I saw it. A symbol spray-painted on the trunk of a tree. Not a tag, not letters, something circular with lines crossing through it, like an eye or a compass. "What the hell?" I whispered, holding up my phone to film. "If anyone knows what this means, drop it in the comments." The ringing stopped, and in the silence that followed, I heard breathing. Not mine. Slow, heavy, just out of sight. "Hello?" I called out, my voice barely above a whisper. The breathing didn't stop. Every instinct told me to back away, to get in the car and drive until the road disappeared behind me. I took one step back, and that's when I saw it. Just for a second, something pale between the trees, too tall to be a person, standing perfectly still. I should have left. I breathed, hard in my throat. But then I saw something I couldn't explain. I don't even remember deciding to move forward. One second, I was frozen, staring at that pale shape between the trees. The next, I was following the footprints deeper into the woods, like I was being pulled by a thread. The path curved twice, just like the post said it would. And there it was, a sagging wooden shack half swallowed by vines, door hanging by one hinge. I hesitated at the threshold, phone light cutting through the dark. The inside smelled like mildew and something worse, coppery, old. My sneakers stuck slightly to the floor as I stepped in. That's when I saw the table. Polaroids scattered across it like playing cards. The first few were just trees, empty field, the mill road. But then they changed. One showed the tree with the strange symbol, freshly painted. Another showed the same tree again, only this time something pale stood just behind it, blurred, like it had moved while the picture was being taken. My breath caught in my throat. There were journal pages too, torn out and stacked unevenly. I picked one up and read, my voice shaking. Day 3. The ringing hasn't stopped. I think it waits until I'm alone to get louder. My dog won't stop barking at the back door. I think it knows I saw it. Another page. Day 6. I tried to tell someone. They laughed. Now I hear footsteps outside at night. Not animal footsteps. Heavier. I flipped to the last page. Heart hammering. Day 9. I saw it. Too tall, too thin. It didn't blink. It just watched me until the ringing stopped. I think it's awake now. The words were smeared near the end, like the writer had dropped the pen. I stumbled back from the table, clutching the page. This wasn't just a post. This was their life, whatever was left of it. Something crackled in the corner. I turned my phone light and saw a handheld recorder sitting on an overturned chair. I pressed play. At first, it was just static. Then a panicked voice.
If anyone finds this, don't come back here. Don't make the same mistake I did. A crash, a shout, then something low and wet breathing right into the mic before the recording cut out. I dropped the recorder like it had burned me. Outside, the ringing started again, louder this time, closer. And in that moment, I realized something terrible. The footprints didn't just lead into the shack. There was a second set, leading back out. And they were fresh.
I bolted out of the shack, the journal page still in my hand. The night felt thicker now, like the darkness itself had weight. The ringing was deafening, pulsing through the trees like a warning siren. Crunch. I spun around, phone light swinging wildly. Nothing but trees. Crunch. Closer this time. I broke into a run, feet pounding the path, branches whipping at my arms. My flashlight flickered once, twice, then died completely, plunging me into blackness. No, 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 I hissed, striking the side of my phone until the light sputtered back to life in a weak, shaky beam. Something moved behind me. Not fast, slow, deliberate, like it knew I had nowhere to go. I hit the curve in the path and nearly lost my footing. The journal page slipped from my hand and skidded into the dirt. For half a second, I almost left it, but I couldn't. I dropped to my knees, snatched it back up, and felt the earth vibrate under me. One heavy step, then another. I killed the light and dove off the path, flattening myself behind a fallen log. My chest burned as I tried to stay quiet, every inhale louder than it should have been. The footsteps stopped. The ringing stopped. The silence was worse. Something was out there, just on the other side of the log. I could hear it breathing, slow, steady, wet. And then a sound like nails dragging across bark. I clenched my jaw, squeezing my eyes shut, waiting for the thing to lean over the log and see me. Instead, the footsteps started again, moving away. I stayed there frozen until I couldn't hear them anymore. When I finally stood, shaking, the path back to my car felt miles away, but I ran anyway. I burst out of the trees and nearly collapsed against my car door, fumbling with the handle like a drunk. I didn't even check the woods behind me, just dove inside, slammed the lock, and turned the key. The headlights lit up the path, and for a split second I swore I saw something standing between the trees, too still to be human. Then it was gone. Gravel sprayed as I floored it. The dirt road stretched on forever, like it had doubled in length while I was gone. The air inside the car was ice cold, and my breath came out in pale clouds even though it wasn't that cold outside. Relief hit me all at once when the asphalt appeared under my tires. Civilization, streetlights, safety, or so I thought. At the first red light, I finally let myself look in the rearview mirror. There was nothing there, at least nothing I could see, but the seat behind me was wet, like someone had been sitting there in the rain. I didn't stop driving until I was home. I parked crooked in my driveway and stumbled up to the door, heart still hammering. The lock turned easily. Too easily, like it had already been opened. Inside, everything looked normal, except for the floor. There were muddy footprints leading from the front door straight into the hallway, and they weren't mine. Somewhere in the dark house, a floorboard creaked. I wasn't alone. I backed into the living room, clutching my phone like it could save me. Every sound in the house felt too loud. The hum of the fridge, the tick of the clock, my own breathing. I sat on the couch and opened Reddit, desperate to see if anyone else had posted about the field, about the ringing, about whatever that thing was. But the post was gone. Not locked, not archived, completely erased like it had never existed. The username was deleted, the thread was blank. My stomach twisted as I refreshed again and again until a new post appeared at the top of the feed. Same subreddit, different throwaway account. It was just one line. You weren't supposed to see this. No comments allowed, no upvotes. Just those words staring back at me like they were meant for me and no one else. I slammed the laptop shut, heart racing. Whoever, whatever wrote that post knew I'd gone out there, knew I'd seen something I shouldn't have. The ringing was back now, faint but steady, like it was inside the walls. I looked at the journal page I'd brought home, still stained with dirt. At the bottom, in shaky writing I hadn't noticed before, were 3 more words. It follows now. I don't know if I'm safe here. I don't know if anywhere is safe. But I can't stop thinking about the shack, the Polaroids, the recorder. There were more pages I didn't read. If I want answers, I'll have to go back. And this time, I don't think I'll be alone.
If I disappear after tonight, this is all that's left, the only proof any of this happened. If you've ever seen something like this, leave a comment. I need to know I'm not the only one. And subscribe, because if I don't make it back, someone has to finish what I started.